What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. Before I get into this video, I want to thank two people for their contributions to the channel. I want to thank Eric, um, who said that just wanted to say that I enjoy your content and I like hearing your opinions on a lot of things. Um, he said that he found me through one of my James Harden videos. He liked it and has been following me since. And Eric, I want to let you know that any contribution means a lot to me, man, no matter what the amount is. And I want to thank Priscilla. Priscilla donated the day of the tragedy. She said, "Hey, Mike, I'm just trying to give thanks and remember you during this time. We never know when we're gone. Thanks for everything." And, you're right, man. You never know when your last day on this planet is. Because nobody would have ever thought that the day that LeBron passed Kobe in scoring would be the last full day on Earth that Kobe would be here. Um, Now that we've had about 48 hours to process what happened, uh, Sunday, a tragedy which claimed the lives of 9 people. We have to remember that 9 people lost their lives. If I'm not mistaken, 3 children lost their lives. Uh, in an instant, Vanessa Bryant became a widow and she lost one of her children. Her children lost their father and a sibling in an instant. There was a family that was pretty much nearly wiped out, if I'm not mistaken, just completely wiped out. People lost brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. Families were destroyed from this singular, terrible, terrible event. This is a terrible tragedy on a scale. When you look at not only at how large a figure Kobe was, not just in sports, um, but outside of sports. He was, making a name for himself in the entertainment industry. Uh, he was truly an entrepreneur. He was a humanitarian. He was known globally. And when you look at the way that he perished, this is one of the terrible tragedies of all time. And uh, I don't think this is in any way, shape, or form hyperbole. This is probably one of, if not the greatest sports tragedy uh, that I can think of, man. And I've been alive for almost 40 years now. And I can remember all the way back to the Challenger disaster when it blew up in January '86. I was in kindergarten class when that happened. And I watched it with my classmates. At that time, we're not really processing what happened, but we knew it was bad because the teachers were crying. So, but in my life, I've witnessed a lot of historical events. I witnessed of course, the Challenger blowing up. I remember the fall of the Berlin Wall. I remember the collapse of communism in the Soviet Union, now Russia. The first terrorist attack in the Twin Towers. The car crash that killed Princess Di. You know what I'm saying? The murders of Tupac and Biggie. 9/11. The plane crash that killed Aaliyah. The car crash that killed Left Eye Lopez. I mean, all these things I can still remember, you know, uh, just like, it was yesterday. Of course, the death of Michael Jackson. Um, but when you look at this situation with Kobe, when you look at how big an icon he was, and the sheer randomness of it. It's really hard to process, man. It's really hard to figure out why and how this happened. Um, I know that my channel draws a lot of young people too. Like my channel draws in a lot of young people who want to learn. I talk a lot about history and stuff like that, and I try to be entertaining. Um, so for a lot of young people, you guys don't remember 9/11. So this is like the first incident in your lifetime where shit got really real. You know, like this is a real life. Like what I'm saying is, yeah, we've had terrorist attacks, you know, certain things, mass shootings since then, but it was desensitized to you guys. Like it wasn't something that affected you personally. But throughout our history, since the age of television, you know, we've had these moments before. We've had these moments in our lifetime that affected us. I'm keeping it to the television age. I could include Pearl Harbor, but that's before the television age. The JFK assassination, the assassination of Bobby Kennedy, the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. These are events that are etched in some people's minds for the rest of their lives. And for the post 9/11 generation, this is the first memory that I think you guys are going to have that's going to be etched in your lives, in your mind for the rest of your lives. Because Kobe is someone that a lot of people loved and admired. That's one of the reasons why you've heard me say on this channel, and there was no disrespect to LeBron James, but you remember might have heard me and other people say, Ticket said it far more times than me, to be a Laker legend, to be respected by Laker fans, you're going to have to win a championship, you know, because you got to understand how beloved guys like Magic Johnson and especially Kobe Bryant was, even in life, how beloved he was. Okay. So how do we move on from here? Well, this is one thing I'm going to try to do, man. On my channel, I'm going to try my best because we're going to have to go back to sports. We're going to have to try to go back to debating and stuff like that. But what I'm going to try to do is when I'm debating sports, I'm going to try my best to just use arguments for the case of why I think a guy should be the best. I'm going to try my best now to stop saying why a guy isn't this or that, trying to put another guy down. Even though that's not my intentions, but people get that impression when you do that, that you're poo-pooing another guy's accomplishment. So what I'm going to try to do from now on, whether I'm debating why I think this guy's the best, I'm going to leave out all of these things because this contributes to the culture. This contributes to this thing where over the past decade, sports debate has gone down to a point where it doesn't make any sense. It's too personalized. People are taking sides. Like it doesn't make, it's ridiculous. In the grand scheme of things, sports is nominal. Sports doesn't mean much, man. It's not real like that. It's entertainment. Real shit happened Sunday. That was real. I had no idea that Kobe Bryant and Shannon Sharpe were friends. None. To the point where they text each other and talk. I had no idea. But Sharpe would go on TV because he's just debating and it's entertainment. He would tell you why he thought LeBron might have been better than Kobe blah, blah, blah. Okay? We can't take this shit that serious. Okay? It's sports. So at the end of the day, if there's anything we can learn from that, is to put this shit into perspective. It's just sports. At the end of the day, it's just sports. And that's how I'm going to take it on this channel, man. And to those who showed their true colors during this event, those who've shown their true colors, we saw them in the media. We know who they are. Karma is a mother. That's all I'm going to say. But that's it, man. I really feel for everybody that lost someone in a tragedy. And you really get to see how the NBA is truly a family. And even though I love the old era, I love the era where there was competitiveness, more competitiveness, and you saw more rivalries. Let me say this, though. Even though I beckon for an era where players were, uh, not as friendly as they are now with each other, and there was more rivalries, at the end of the day, most of those guys off of the court were good friends. You know what I'm saying? Charles Oakley and Michael Jordan would go at each other in the 90s when they were on opposing teams. But Jordan, Oakley, Ewing were great friends off the court. And the NBA is a family, and they're a family in grieving right now, as well as the rest of the world, for the most part, in the passing of Kobe Bryant, and also grieving for the passing of Gianna Bryant and all those others, the 7 others that perished in a helicopter crash. And we give our sympathies toward Vanessa Bryant and the children as they are seriously grieving right now. And I want to say this too in conclusion. I think the NBA should seriously consider, and I think Jerry West would go along with this, um, because he was open to the NBA changing the logo to Jordan. But this is more appropriate. I think the NBA should change the logo to a silhouette of Kobe Bryant. Oh boy, it's terrible, man. Terrible. Do you know that since the MVP award was first, I think, introduced, I think it was 1954 or 1955. So the MVP award has been around for about 65 years, right? Do you know that of all the MVP winners, up until Sunday, only 2 have been deceased? Only 2. And up until 2015, only 1. Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain, and then Moses Malone. So going all the way back to the days of Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit, these guys are still with us. So the NBA family is not used to losing people. It wasn't until this past decade, really, that we began to lose members of the NBA family. The NBA have been lucky to have kept a lot of their legends for so long. And unfortunately, on Sunday, the 3rd MVP in history lost his life very prematurely and tragically. And he'll never be forgotten. And that's all I got to say.